Hey, everybody, welcome back. This is Camille Essick. I'm host of the Speaker Podcast. This is the podcast where innovators and creators connect. What I need you to do right now is hit that notification bell and subscribe. Follow us. We're on Facebook at the Speaker Podcast. We're also on Instagram at Camille.Essick. And y'all, we are working to build our YouTube channel. So go over right now and hit that notification bell and subscribe and connect with us. We have some amazing things coming up. Just notifying some people that we're on air. We have Heart and Soul 2024 coming back, and y'all, this is going to be such an amazing event. We go live exclusively on YouTube at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Phenomenal panelists. We're going to have a discussion about marriage, dating, and relationships. This is part one from the ladies' perspective, and then stay tuned for the information on part two. And y'all, I have my new ebook out available, Women Empowered Unleashed. It's available on my website at CamilleEssick.com, as well as my e-course, The Master Plan, and Mic'd Up, which is a digital bundle for podcasters and creators. All those things and my other e-products are available on my website at CamilleEssick.com. And my brother JT is back. Hey JT, how you doing?
What's up, sister? How you doing?
I'm really good. It's really good to see you. I'm just excited to have you here. You're my last individual live before we close out the month of October. This month
Come
is just flying
on.
by.
Ending with me. I
Yeah,
like that.
yeah. So I know you're gonna bring it. Like that's why you're here because I know you're gonna bring it.
Awesome.
So
I'm glad to be here.
those that are not familiar with who you are, just recap a little bit about who you are and what you do.
What's up, people? So, my name is JT. I am the CEO and brand strategist for Just Draw Creatives. That is my corporate company brand where we provide brand strategy, designs, media production, events to startup small businesses and corporations. Under that, I have a sector called the Church Collection, which is geared towards creating relevant features for startup, small and medium sized churches. We provide coaching, we provide structure and strategies, and that's my give back to be an answer to the church. So I'm excited to be here with my sister and her continuously creating a space for us creators to be able to chat and to know that we're not alone in this world. Because if you're creative, you feel alone because you're usually talking to yourself in the car as I am. And I've talked to myself a little bit today. But anyway, I'm excited to be here.
No, I'm glad you said that because you're kind of dipping into the first um point of conversation I wanted to have with you. And
Okay.
I thought about this and it's talking about dealing with the loneliness of being gifted and anointed.
You want to start off with that one?
Yeah.
My God.
I mean,
Eee.
you are in the
I did.
spirit.
Okay.
So just gonna leave with
Um,
that.
how you want to jump into that?
Jump
Tell
in.
me.
Let's just rip the band-aid off.
Um, it's I say it's a lonely place to be, but I believe it's a necessary place to be.
Why?
Because being a creative, you have to trust your abilities and your creativity. If you don't trust it, the
Mhm.
people that don't have it, that need those ideas, that need that bringing something to life or having that aha moment, they
Mhm.
lean to us, whether it's in graphics, whether it's in photography, whether it's in painting, whether it's in book writing, wherever it is where we're able to create, we're able to bring something to life. You do have to have that time of seclusion because you have to, what I feel, you have to be able to work within yourself. You have to be able to move out of and strengthen up that tool, that muscle of creativity. And a lot of times, if I'm constantly feeding off of somebody, or if I'm constantly comparing or trying to compete with others, I'm never going to create my own difference, my own identity and creativity. I'm just going to be another replica of somebody else that's out there.
And
And I
then
do
too, just
believe for
people
you to do
connecting.
that.
I'm
Say it
sorry.
again.
I was just saying also too, then the way we perceive life and information and how we process information, and we can be deemed as, oh, they're kind of weird or different. We quirky, all these
Yeah.
different terms, but it's because the way our minds process information. And sometimes we may think a few steps ahead, or we're looking at it from this vantage point versus
Yeah.
or looking at it just like within a skewed vision, and we're looking at it from this angle, this angle. So yeah. And then also I feel like spiritual attacks come because of how we think. And a lot of people that are creative, and I'm not trying to be deep, also have a prophetic
Mm-hmm.
fear. So
Mm-hmm.
it opens up warfare, in some
Yes.
areas. And quiet as a kept, I mean, a lot of creatives also battle depression,
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah. I
know.
know the moments and the days where I wake up and I have to press through that, because I can be producing for my clients and still be struggling mentally and emotionally. There's been weeks where I just stayed in my house, didn't leave, didn't go nowhere, was just simply here. In my own space. Sometimes I close my blinds and I kind of stay secluded. I'm not worried about getting my hair cut or anything. But the crazy part is, while I'm in this place of seclusion and what I feel sometimes safety and being kind of in a low place, I'm still creating things
Mhm,
for clients, and their life is being brought to light. Like, it can really become a place to where you constantly are pouring out and giving to others, that's helping their life while your life is questionable of, even, do I want to keep doing this? Is this why I woke up, to just be something for somebody else and not be able to pour back into myself? So I totally agree with what you're saying. And the older I've gotten, I used to feel some type of way because I didn't have a bunch of friends. I didn't have a close unit of people. I used to feel some type of way, and I used to go and do different things so that I could grow my area of influence. But when the time comes and I need to be poured back into, thank God for the close ones and not having this array of people. Thank God for when things are happening, I don't have to try to extend myself trying to please everybody. I got the ones that have been close. I got the ones that have been connected. I got the ones that know who I am, to where when I am low, they know how to maneuver. I'm not having to figure so many things out. I can keep it in that close knit. So now I'm not saying I'm against, no new friends. I'm
right.
always welcome, but I'm okay with what I have, because when you spend time with the people that know you, that can pour into you, it's great, because it's easy to trust them. It's easy to know
Mhm,
that you have support and stability and a foundation, and not having to. And it's easy on your pockets, because on birthdays, I don't have to sit here and get 15 gifts. I get 5, and some of them don't want a gift. I'm okay with that. But I'm not out here just trying to create this, because one thing about creators, we have to have time to ourselves. If we
mhm.
don't, and we're not okay with that, it's going to be hard to be creative, because you're going to constantly have to feed and be other people to be successful.
Yeah, I think there's like a sensory overload because our mind is constantly thinking. We're all even when I know for myself, and maybe you can agree, even when I'm trying to go to sleep, I'm thinking about things. Or I'll
Hmm.
get an idea and I'll just, oh, let me at least make the note. Then I find myself, well, let me at least start the graphic or start. And before you know it, it's 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yep.
'Cause we feel like
Yep.
if I don't do it right now, I'm gonna lose it. If I
Yep.
don't lose if I don't grab this idea now, I'm going to lose it, and if you don't, it messes with you.
Yeah. Yeah. But there's strategies I've had to come up with, because what I have not picked up and will not pick up
Mhm,
is where they say late night, early mornings.
mhm.
I'm team no sleep. No, I'm getting my rest.
Yes.
Hear me when I say that mantra: worship, grind, sleep, repeat.
Mhm,
I'm going to get my rest, because rest rejuvenates me. A lot of the struggles and the fight that I have when I'm tired, I've noticed that the work that I would usually do in that time will always have to be redone, because it wasn't really my creative stuff, because I was drained. I was tired. Let me go
deficit.
rest. I
Yeah.
have I have I have a futon now in my creative room, where when I find myself nodding off, I lay down, whether
Mhm,
it's 30 minutes or an hour. Why? Because I need that rest. I need to refresh my mind and refresh that moment. And I know a lot of times people think, oh no, I'm going, no, if it's 1 o'clock, it'll wait till tomorrow.
Yeah.
And if I'm behind on the project, hey clients, I am behind today. I'm not going to stress out, because here's the thing: if they really want your creativeness, they'll honor your process and sometimes honor the time that it takes to produce that. If you want something creative, time has to be part of that equation. If you
Yeah.
don't, we'll just do it quick, be stressed out, and you wonder why you're having to redo things because you never really put your full self into it, just a
Yeah,
portion of it.
that's really good. And then also, JT, as far as you touched on, hey, I can do that tomorrow. And sometimes we have to utilize the technology around us, meaning voice notes. If it's
Yep.
pressing that hard, make a voice note,
Yep.
talk through it, and whatever's on your mind, do that voice memo, then listen to it, because it's going to click with you once you hear it
Yes.
again.
Yes.
And that's so important. Or we have the note section in our phone. That's another
Yep.
thing. Or
And you have
even,
Chat GPT, my God, because I talked to her. That's another admin of mine. I haven't
mhm,
brought back one of my admins because I was like, Chat GPT, she's going to do the work for me. I tell her, remind me, put it in here. I don't want to say their names because they're
yeah,
listening, but I
right,
got
right,
no, Alexa is it's another name in here, but I got
yeah,
her say, remind me, do those things. But I no longer stress myself having to use it, got to tinkle. And I'm holding my pee because I'm trying to get, no, I'm going to make sure I have healthy patterns that's going to allow me to live long instead of trying to finish a couple of lines or graphics here. No, if I'm my best self, everything around me will be its best. So whether
that's
that's
really good.
sleep, work, taking a mini vacay, I'm an advocate of every 2 months I need to go somewhere for a weekend just to
Mhm.
rejuvenate my mind. Sometimes I leave my computer, sometimes I don't, but just getting myself away to make sure that I'm recharging, that's going to be helpful. Because when you think about your mental capacity in your brain, if you're constantly using it, it's going to wear down. We're not a machine, we are people. And I got to enjoy my life. I have to.
Absolutely. I know at least once or twice a month. I did so this past weekend. Well, not this past weekend, the weekend prior to, where just life was lifing, and I know I needed to do some things for the podcast. I said, but you know what? My mind is tired. So I checked all the way out. I scheduled my social media posts. That
Mm-hmm.
way I'm not having to, reach for my phone. Phone was on do not disturb, and I had never watched it, but I watched the whole series until the most recent episode of Abbott Elementary.
I love that. I just started that last
It's
night and I
so
finished it. Yeah.
good. It's a good
Yeah.
show, but
Yeah.
just doing that, I ordered some pizza because I was
Come
like,
on.
shout out, I'm not gonna say the brand, but a company has this new Tuscan crust pizza. It's so good. So I did with the
Really?
chicken sausage and the hot peppers. It
Okay.
it blessed my soul. I'm not saying their name because 'cause they're not paying me. So,
Come on. Huh?
yeah, but and just doing that felt good. Just to not do anything and not think about, and I knew I needed to do things for the show, but I did not have the capacity because I was working out of a deficit. And
Mm,
I could have done what I needed to do, but like you said before, it would not have been my best self because I was not in a good space, just because I was just exhausted because I had just poured out so much throughout the week.
mm,
So I totally, totally agree with you on that. Going also deeper into our conversation when we're talking about um our mental space, and with you being a black man, when you're pushing through these narratives as a brother and having silent tears, because we hear boys don't cry, suck it up, you're a man, you just got to go get it. So how do you, one, push against those narratives that society and culture tells you, well, this is not masculine, this is not what you do, but just owning your humanity. We're not even talking about just the box as far as gender, but just leaning into your humanity and having a human moment as a
hmm.
man.
And literally what you just said, I have my human moments. I I don't what feels right to me and what's
Mhm.
needed from me, I'm going to do that no matter what that be. I do have a level of faith. I do have a level of discipline, from what I believe and connect with the Word of God. Outside of that, if it's something that I feel needs to happen emotionally, I'm going to go there. I
Mhm.
believe that in crying. If I could cry right now, I would, just to show people there's nothing wrong with me crying, because I know the release that comes with it. I know that it helps me be better in the things that I'm getting ready to touch that comes after it.
Mhm.
Because if I'm holding into my emotions, there are things that could be really well in my life is getting ready to be tainted because I'm bringing a version that does not produce healthiness. It
Mhm.
does not produce calmness and peace. Certain conversations, it's a triggering. Why? Because I haven't dealt with some things here. I've seen enough of it from others to where I start asking myself the questions and looking within myself before I even get to that moment. I am a firm advocate on if people have showed you their lives, if they have talked to you and presented to you their darkest times and how they've learned, I believe in listening to other people's stories or their testimonies and learning from that, taking some of those notes. I think the older saints that would say, take the meat and throw out the bones.
Yes.
I do that because I've learned wisdom has saved me in so many times in my life. Being smart and choosing to take advice from others, because when I do that, it saves me time and money. I
Mhm.
sometimes I ain't trying to try it. Let me just stick it here. If I feel an unction within myself to do it a different way, I'll do that. But
Mhm.
why try to buck a specific system when people have showed you? Be honest, talk about certain things. Don't hide behind this. Hold your carry, be integrity. Yes, let me do all of those things and let me show my emotions at the same time so that I'm not a ball of mess as I'm trying to move forward to be something great. Because as soon as I hit the top of it, it's going to blow up. Why? Because I haven't dealt with the things that should have been used to cultivate me to be that person. I'm going to miss those things ahead if I don't deal with it now. So I'm a I don't follow some of those moments. They can say what they want, but I know I'm a man. I know that I'm a sensitive man. I'm going to cry. I'm going to yell. I'm going to feel some type of way, and I'm going to tell you
Mhm.
how I feel. I'm going to
Yeah.
share it. If you aggravate, I'm going to tell you. If I'm sad, I'm going to tell you, because what I know is for my life. I don't need my instabilities of my emotions to make me miss a moment. Not going to
Yeah.
do it. Not going to do it.
And then that impacts relationships, and not just from a romantic standpoint, but just even in friend groups, because it's like, how can we be friends and have this place of trust if I'm asking you, how are you doing? Are you okay? And you're just like, oh, I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah.
And if I
Yeah.
keep hearing that, then now you're kind of reinforcing the strong black man stereotype, and you can be in front of me and crashing, and I'm not gonna know because every time
Correct.
I've asked you, "JT, how you doing?" "Oh, I'm good, I'm fine, I got it." But you're not. So now, how can I say this? There's a place of distrust because I
Hmm.
know I can feel your spirit and your heart and know something's not right, but you keep
Yeah.
telling me I'm fine, I'm good. And so now there's a wall, right?
Hmm.
And at
Hmm.
some point, now it opens the door for resentment because now you're like, "Man, here comes Camille. I know she's gonna ask me what's wrong.
Hmm.
I don't wanna talk about it." And now I'm feeling like, you're saying you're my friend and we're supposed to have this friendship, but you won't even talk to me.
Yeah.
So it creates some friction. So
Yeah.
how do you navigate that space where if how do you navigate that space?
So, well, what I do, and I tell my friends this, and I tell people this when I get around, because sometimes when I go into church spaces and I'm there to be a strategist, to coach or whatever in church, we have these quick greetings,
The
and most
cliches.
of the yes, and some of these greetings are questions that we never allow people to give an answer to.
Mm,
Oh, how you doing? You good? And most of the times we'll answer it for the person. And my thing is, if I ask, I really want to know, how are you doing? And if you don't, I'm going to press it, because I tell my friends, when I do that, I need y'all to do the same thing to me, because I may get into the place where I say I'm good and you don't feel I am, press it, because I rather identify with your well-being than what I need from you. And this
Mhm.
just happened to one of my friends the other day. I called her. I said, "How you doing?" And she was like, "Oh my God." And we went on. I called her for a particular purpose, but
Mhm.
what she was dealing with was far more than what I had to ask. And we never brought it up. She texted me today and was like, "You called me about something on the other day. What was that about?" And I was able to share it with her. And I get, sometimes we're like, we have so much, we need some things. Is my need greater than your betterment? Is my need greater than us trying to find a place of healing for you? And
Mhm.
sometimes it's not that important. It probably can be, it can be waited on, or it can be given to somebody else. But when we ask people, how are you doing? Let them respond. I let them respond. And if they don't respond, I ask the question again, because how you are, if I do need something from you, if you're not in a good mental space, I need to know that, because I don't want what I'm asking for you to give me to be messed up. You know what I'm saying? And we could have avoided that if we would have had that conversation. So
Yeah.
that's how I deal. I ask the questions, and tell people, I'm not just stating this as small talk. I really want to know, how are you doing? Are you
Mhm.
good? Has today been well? Anything that I need to keep in my mind? And I feel like with our culture, they take that as small talk, and is people really don't care, so they just give these answers. No, I really want to know so that I can
Yes.
be someone of support to you, because I really feel like our demographic and our generation, we really don't know what support sometimes looks like, because
Mhm.
there's always this transaction, there's always this need that's happening, and people are hurting, but they're still trying to pour out and give, because I rather you'll probably like me more if I can just finish what you need for me to do, than me just actually being able to tell you what's really going on, and you have compassion for me.
Yeah, that's pouring
Let's
from an
ask the
empty cup.
question, and let's give space for people to give an answer. And I
Yeah,
think we'll
that's
see some
really good.
changes.
That's really good, JT, and then pouring from an empty place, and when you press and ask that question, I feel like it kinda breaks, um, the door down, because in
Hmm.
people's mind, nobody cares, nobody ever asks how I'm doing, and so now when you press, it's killing that voice, because I
Yeah.
am asking, and I'm not asking because for small talk or surface conversation, I'm asking because I really do care. And
Yeah.
so at that point, when you're like, I'm good.
Yeah.
No, let's pull you to the carpet, to the front of the congregation. What's up? What's going on? Like for real."
Yeah. There's a lot of people that I've came in contact with, and I did need something, but
Mhm.
because they took it to that place of, "Oh, I know you needed something, but we got a chance to communicate and talk through it. I never asked for it. I want another
Mhm.
route." Because at the end of the day, our interaction, our connection, it's becoming more important than the need that I have. This world is so creative, so big, and I believe God will always make a way. If our connection is just to make this moment better, let's do that. We'll find another person, another way. Because one thing corporate America has taught me, they will get rid of you and find somebody else to do exactly what you were doing, if not better. So why am I feeling like and making act like I just have to get this person? No, let me see about you. Let
That's
me make
true.
sure you're good, and not be in a place, because I feel like some people don't, because of the trauma of people not doing it towards them. So it's like, if I keep putting myself out there, somebody going to look for me. And I really believe what you sow, you will reap. If you're there for others, you will be, people will be there for you. But the thing
Mhm.
is, you have to be open for people to be there for you. You can't be this for everybody else. And when you're in your weak moment, you're not honestly sharing with them what you're dealing with. You're not giving them a chance to be there for you. You have to minimize sometimes, so that you can receive what you've poured into other people. So I think that plays a role as well, because I was that type where I'm always doing something, but then I'm looking around, where are people for me? And I'm getting mad and feeling some type of way. And I remember Holy Spirit one day said, "But you never let them in. They will
Mm.
call you to talk about their problems, their issues. You give advice and comfort. But when you're going through, you never pick up the phone to tell them. So how would they know that you're
Yeah.
dealing with something? How would they know when you never let them in? You got to break yourself down and allow people to come in so that what you've poured into them, it can be poured back into you.
Yeah, there's gotta be some vulnerability there, and even when you pour into people and this
Hmm.
is something I've really had to learn over the last year, because just being transparent, I was frustrated with some people because I'm like, "I'm always showing up for you, I'm always present for you," but then when I needed it, it wasn't reciprocated, so it taught me about proximity
Hmm.
and making a note and saying, "Okay, what were you expecting?" What were you expecting? Because I think sometimes the things we really desire or need, we attempt to replicate that in other people, and then when we don't get it back in return, that's where the frustration walks into the conversation.
Yep. Yep. We don't want time to do its work. We'll love bomb a friendship or relationship so that we can immediately get that connection and that yes, so they won't have to take that time to see if they are it or if they're not. We don't want rejection. We don't want the opportunity of them turning their back. So we'll do so much, give so much so they can be like, oh my God, they're phenomenal. Is really you don't want to take time to walk this thing out to create a journey. You want to get that quick answer so that you can be like, yep, it works. No, allow time to do its work so you can see the red flags. So you can
Mhm.
see that your money did not need to go into their pockets and you didn't need to help. Allow time to do what it needs to do so you can see people for who they really are.
Yeah, and don't I would say don't, um, miscount or tally the red flags versus the green, meaning just because you have 5 green flags, don't
Hmm.
ignore those 2 red flags either,
Yeah. Yeah.
because they're
Yeah.
still red.
Yeah. Yeah. Not the still red. Yep.
It's still red. So
And
I
nor have
think
they
that
came back to say or been honest about those things, gave some understanding, and you see change. Like and this thing, everybody's different. Because I had to notice too that some people who had red flags, yes, it's not for me to jump into specific things of space and giving them that proximity to
mhm.
me, but I also don't need to discard them because they come off as Saul when they may be transitioned to Paul.
Wait,
They may
wait, say that
be.
again.
I said I don't want sometimes seeing red flags, seeing patterns from things of people in the past or things that are kind of like non-negotiables. I get it. We all have them, but I
Mhm.
also, and which means keep space, keep proximity, be safe. But I also don't want to always say I'm cutting people off because that one person who's been a Saul may shift and come to be Paul to where you were on your way to kill me, but now you're on your way to save me. And
But
I
if in
don't
their Paul
want
season, they could take your head. So you have to walk in wisdom too in
they
that
now
aspect.
if they take your head, they never really was Paul. If they take your head, they
Well,
will
Paul
Saul
was
or
ta well,
Judas.
Saul was taking heads.
Yeah, taking heads. Paul was saving them, or Peter and Judas. They both,
Yeah.
betrayed. One that was their intent. The other, Jesus went and not to say he reconciled. He still went and pulled them when he resurrected. So I don't want to mistake my Peters for Judases because they are similar. Allow time to do its work so we
I
can
always
see their
say
true
it's like
intent.
a story, you're not the hero in everybody's chapter. At some point, you were the villain in someone's story, and I think that's
I was
something.
always Superman. I don't care no. What? No, I'm playing. I'm playing. I know I got stories. My God.
I mean, just to be honest, in certain chapters of life, we weren't always the hero. There were some points in someone's chapter we were the villain, and I
Yeah.
think that's where the accountability comes in. And being honest, because in our mind and the narrative, you want to say, "No, no, you were not always the greatest." So
Yep.
we have to be honest in those spaces too.
I agree. I agree.
So just moving right along, getting a little bit into your entrepreneur bag. You've worked with me on some things behind the scenes and really pushed me out there more. And I really appreciate that. Just you're one of those people I can lean on. If I have an idea, I'm like, hey, what do you think about this? And
Mhm.
your perspective is not like, oh, well, Camille's my friend, so I'm gonna tell her this. You really come to me like creative to creative. And so in that space, what are your points on when we're dealing with clients and you have a lot of newer creatives, entrepreneurs, and some veterans dealing with clients wanting to nickel and dime you, particularly within our culture and community. And there's a sense of entitlement to say, well, because I know you, let me try to haggle the price down. When in reality, these are my price points. And I'm not, because everyone else is paying them, but because you know me or we're cool or whatever, you feel that, oh, I don't have to honor your price set.
Systems and structure. Systems and structure. When you set up a structure and within that structure, there's a system that will allow you to be your best self. If they are a friend and they want your best work, they'll honor your system and they'll honor your structure. Because if going to my website, scheduling a conversation with me, getting on the call, allowing me to walk through the process that I do with my clients, sending you a proposal, you tell me what you can do, and then I make the decision how I want to do it and what I need to adjust to make it use for my time. That's a win than a person saying, "Oh, you're my friend. Why I got to go to your website? Can't we just talk?" Well, you obviously don't want my best work because this system was created to allow me to be my best selves.
Mhm.
So I've had a lot of pitfalls with clients because I kept connecting with them outside of the system that I created within my company.
Mhm.
And when I started telling all of my friends, and sometimes they would try to make you feel some type of way when truth be told, they're following the system and the structure with somebody else, with corporate America, with VA, with the doctors, with
With other
Verizon, AT&T.
brands.
They're following their system. You knowing me is the benefit because what I'm getting ready to produce is going to probably be on a deeper level because I know you. And
Mhm.
don't, what I've always told my friends, let me choose. Because what I do with friends, because I had to stop doing things for free with friends, simply because I was always feeling like I was doing more than what they were providing. And that was because they never made an investment.
Mhm.
Now, sometimes their investment doesn't have to be the price that I usually give everybody else, but there needs to be some type of investment. And what I do now is I take my friends through a system. I show them, hey, this is what this would cost. Honestly, tell me, what are you able to do? So that one, they see I'm not playing games. This is truly it. And if you tell me what you can do, what I would then say, okay, let's say the project is 2 grand a month, but you tell me all you can do is 750. Cool. I know what you're working with. You saw what I could do for 2,000. So let me adjust so that you'll see that I'm not
So it's fair,
minimizing
it's
you.
equitable. Yes.
Yeah, goes into that space. So with entrepreneurs, creatives, create a system, create a structure, create this plan that's going to allow you to be your best self. Anytime that you get on the phone with somebody, there should have been a form that they filled out. And I get email, but create a form, whether it's through Linktree or something that's asking the question that you normally need to know, so that when you get on the phone, you have more to give than them because you know who you're talking to. You kind of already started on the journey that you would love for them to go, and have a process in the place to where when you finish, here's what I need to say. Create your proposals, create your plans, because all of those things are going to help you be able to stay in a comfort zone and a safety that's going to safeguard your creativity. Never reduce your system and structures for friends, because again, if they really value you, the gift in your life, who you are, they'll honor your system because they know they'll get the best work.
Absolutely. And I always say, this is the bar. and this is where you need to meet me. If you don't have the capacity for that right now, that's fine. Come back when you can.
Mhm.
But this is what I'm doing. And it's
Mhm.
been frustrating in times past with some people because they want to debo my system. And I'm like, no, this is what I do. This is my setup. And with onboarding, NDAs, whatever, that's
Mhm.
the constraints. So, you can do a consult here for 15 minutes. Anything after 15 minutes, there needs to be an investment.
Mhm. Mhm. And honor it and be okay with it. Don't now what I will say to the ones who let your price make sense.
Mhm.
That's the other thing for me. I do try to be fair with my pricing. I
Absolutely.
don't try to knock people over the head, but I
Right.
also make it worth my time. If you're going to have a higher price, make sure the experience is going to equate to that. Make
Yeah,
sure the communication is going to equate to that. If you're asking a
absolutely.
person, let's say you do a retainer and you're asking $2,500 a month, they need to have access to you. They need to be hearing from you, communicating. They don't need to question. Why? Because in what 4 months, that's 8 grand. You know what I'm saying? That's coming out
Yeah,
their
so that's
pocket.
$8,000 worth of consults, time, edits. That's what I call those top tier clients. That if you're only
Yeah,
kicking out a couple $100, I'm not at your beck and call
yeah,
because you didn't invest.
yep,
You paid for your package, or whatever. But I'm not going to be at your beck and call because the investment.
yep,
So I absolutely
yep.
agree.
This has been good.
This is a great conversation. As far as just betting on yourself, not having regrets, what do you say to yourself every day as far as number one, living without regrets? And then part two of that question is just the power of betting on yourself and not second guessing your abilities, your capabilities, and just saying, you know what, I can do this. I may have failed before, but you know what? I can do this, and I know I can do it well.
Um, I wake up each morning, I pray, and I tell God to give me the creativity, the ingenuity, the innovation, and the strategy that I need for this day.
Mhm.
And then I pour it out. I want to go to bed every night empty because everything that I've touched, I gave it with 100% of my creative ability,
That's good.
100% of my strategy, my integrity, my character, all of those things. I want to pour it out because I won't get that day back, but this day, this action, this client, this brand, it may take off tomorrow. I want to make sure that I am my better self because I put myself out there to be able to obtain that.
Mhm.
Because I know you've seen the video with Lisa Page Brooks doing the yeah, yeah, yeah. And as people have I don't know if some people have known, that's not new for her, but it took a moment. And how is she being able to manage this moment so well and move? Because when you are perfecting this thing every time that you get an opportunity, it's easy to handle when the multitude comes. And I feel getting up every day, giving it my all, giving it my best, working through, not leaving anything on the table. I'm perfecting this thing in myself. So when the multitude comes, I'm not overwhelmed by it. Why? Because I've been perfecting myself to prepare for this moment anyway. So
Mhm.
I wake up asking God to give me what I need to make it through this day. And then I attack everything with that because I prayed for it. I know it's going to show up. And now let me give it out to the people.
That's really good. I just as you were talking, I just think about when we go through those valley moments where situations in life um make you question yourself.
Hmm.
And you have to dig into your bag and sometimes, as I say, get the receipts on your life, you know, and pull your own resume and say, I've done this, I've done that, I accomplished this. Did I fall here? Yes, but I've done
Hmm.
this. You really have to go back into that archive, that vault, and remind yourself of your prior accomplishments.
Yeah. 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 and keep record of it. And then that was a hard thing for me that I wouldn't do, but I'm doing that now, keeping records of my work to see how far I've grown, to see
Mhm.
the things that I've done. And I remember I was in a low place one day, and when I began to look back, all the brands that are still active today, people still moving today, it was like, wait, I can do it. Why am I second guessing myself?
You poured
Keep that
into me,
record.
I'm here.
Come on, it's still moving forward, huh? So yeah, I think that is definitely pivotal, and having people around you that will do that, that
Absolutely.
will remind you of that.
Absolutely. At
Yeah.
least once a year, I go through my prayer journal. I want to say it was around the time Michael passed away, and I was just I grieved him hard,
Hmm. Hmm.
and I remember it was at a time where things were shifting with the podcast. He had died, and I opened up my prayer journal and I had a list of everything I had done from like 2013. And just seeing, because when you're doing it, you feel like, "Well, am I really doing anything? Am I really progressing?" I can
Yeah.
see 2013, 2014, 20, like, just going through the years, and it was like, "Wow." And now, as I'm talking to you, I need to go back and update it because 'cause I've done
Yeah.
some things since then.
Yeah.
And when you pull out those receipts, it does something for you. It also reminds you how God's hand is really on you and present in those moments,
Yes.
and
Yes.
pressing forward. So I think it's imperative that we all have some type of journal or record or archive to mark those milestone moments. So when you have those moments of doubt and you're not really trusting yourself, you're not really even trusting God as you should, you can go back and see, no, we have record. As Claire Huxtable would say, let the record show.
Yes. Yes. Let the people know.
Yes. So
Oh,
as
that's a
we
good rhyme.
uh,
Let the record show and let the people know.
that sounds like a
That
shirt.
is good. That does. That does. Here,
You
people,
know,
take it. I'm good.
I bet if you create it, Imma buy it. I still wear my
Come on.
other one, the Worship Ground Sleep Repeat. I love that shirt.
Stay close. We got some stuff working on that. So we got some new stuff that's going to be popping off next year.
Well, that slides right on into, our last segment of the podcast as far as, what's going on in your world, also any takeaway nuggets, and then also, where people could connect with you on social media just because you're doing some phenomenal things out there and people need to connect with you. So first of all, let us know, JT, what is new on the horizon, any projects, brands, products, like what's going on?
Yes. So still providing help for anyone in ministry, pastors, leaders. We're hosting a Church Made Easy seminar to help small, startup, and medium sized churches create the structure that they need to plan for 2025.
Okay.
We believe planning, what does it say, plan to win is a win to plan or something of that nature. But we're doing
Yeah.
that from business side. We're still providing great work for startups through website design and creative. But I'm working on something very special that's going to be launching on my birthday next year. And met with my team, and we are really doing some great stuff. And it does include worship, grind, sleep, repeat. So that's all I can say right now.
I want the exclusive interview when
Oh,
it drops.
listen, okay, I will. You'll get someone to reach out to you in a few weeks then, because we are working on a couple of things that's going to happen under that worship, grind, sleep, repeat. And I've got a lot of confirmation from other people asking about that, and we're not holding back anymore. So got some stuff. We're looking to release what's happening on Black Friday. Black
Okay.
Friday, everyone will know, get access to it, but it's something that I believe is going to be the start of something big for a lot of people. And I'm excited about that. Got a book coming out. You hear about that. So yeah, working on some stuff, and still trying to make this money so
Come
that we can
on.
build this wealth. So yeah,
Get this tithes and offering,
come
sir.
on, huh?
Oh,
Excited about it.
what was that Abbott was it Abbott Elementary? when she was with her boyfriend and she would do the gun and he was like,
Yeah. I just finished watching I think the third episode of the new season.
oh,
Which was
was it Ringworm?
wonderful.
Because they had
It
Ringworm
was
last week.
Ringworm.
And the
It
new
was
episode, I
Ringworm.
gotta watch it tonight. So I'm
So
between
wait,
that and Zatima.
now I can't. I haven't seen Zatima.
It's a spinoff from Sisters.
Okay, okay.
So you gotta kind of watch Sisters first
Watch
and watch.
Sisters to get that. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But no,
Anyhow,
Abbott is wonderful. Yeah,
Abbott is
understood.
hilarious. But yeah, when you did that, I thought about Janine and her ex-boyfriend because she was like this and he was like, hey.
And he's still a fool.
He
He's
is crazy.
still a fool. He's still a fool.
I'm like, that is not your son. And he's like, what are you doing in the PTA?
Trying to be there for his people.
Yeah, it's all good. So, and then also, where can people connect with you on social media?
You can type in I am JT. I think it should be on my tag here.
Yep.
Follow me there. From there, it's a link to all of my business pages and things of that sort that you can connect with. So just hit me up. Yeah, I'm excited.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Do you have any last words for the listeners and viewers?
Don't wait to January 1. Start writing out the plan of what you want to see for your life and then begin to execute on what comes easy and accessible. Master that and allow the new things to come that'll come from that. That's one thing I've been telling everybody. Stop waiting. Make it tonight, make it tomorrow. But what you want to see for your life, what you've been sensing and hearing, write it down, everything, and then start with what you can get done first and then begin to add on to that.
Awesome. I love it. Thank you so much. And I cannot wait to have you back as we continue this conversation on Black men, mental health, faith, and entrepreneurship. I
Awesome.
value you as one of my friends in my life. You've been awesome. Every time I know it's bad, but every time I've been going to Atlanta, I've been tearing up thumbs up.
Yes, it is wonderful. If you all are ever in Atlanta, hit me up. We're going to thumbs up. It is a phenomenal restaurant. And it has to be the one on Marietta Street, people of God.
Has to.
Well, I haven't, the other one on Edgewood is good too, but it's just something about Marietta Street.
That one's anointed. Yeah. The Lord resides there.
Yeah, yeah.
You make that right on Metropolitan. It's like
yes, yes. And you
look at me yelling out streets like I live there already.
You're on your way. Come on.
Yes, absolutely. Well, everybody, thank you for tuning in. This is Camille Essick, host of the Speaker Podcast, the podcast where innovators and creators connect. Be sure to connect with me online on my website. I have merch, digital products there at CamilleEssick.com. I'm on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and I would love to hear from you. Send me an email at thespeakerpodcast@gmail.com. And just as a reminder, next week, exclusively on YouTube, what I need you to do is hit that notification bell and subscribe. The Return of Heart and Soul is coming back October 31st at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is part 1. It's with the ladies. We're going to discuss topics and issues covering marriage, dating, and relationships. I have a phenomenal panel lined up, and you do not want to miss it. So I need you to hit that notification bell and subscribe. Y'all be blessed. Have a safe week, and I'll see you on the next one, Lord willing. Thank you. Good night. Be blessed. Bye-bye. Thank you, JT. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Bye.
All right. Bye.